Hey guys, what's going on? This is Roth and Joshua here to talk a little bit of news that we got today, theoretically, that pertains to Captain America 3, Civil War. So an actor has been cast in, we don't have a lot of details yet. We know that Daniel Bruhl, who you may know from films like Inglourious Basterds, he was
in Inglourious Basterds, he was the guy who was the actor in the movie who was not like the total villain, but he ended up being, he was on the Nazi side, we'll say.
He was also in Rush, and he was also in The Fifth Estate, if you've seen that. And I think he's been cast as what some people are calling the villain or a villain in the film.
Marvel, the statement they put out did not say, he should say he's in the movie, but I think it was, another site said, no, he's the villain, and another site said, no, it's not even for Captain America 3, it's Doctor Strange. So there's a lot of things going on like up in the air about this.
Yeah, it's a little bit unclear. Most people seem to agree that he's been cast in, well, Marvel has said that he was cast in Captain America 3. So we know that. They said that he's a very good actor, which, by the way, he is. He's a great actor.
Yes, very acclaimed actor.
He has kind of a quality about him that seems like perfect for a really corrupt, kind of smarmy, either politician or bureaucrat. So that's where my mind immediately went to, that would sort of fit into the world of this film, potentially, and the things that it's about. He was born in Barcelona, but he's also half German, and his career started in Germany. So that got us to thinking, who could he be playing that's a villain that would work for Civil War?
I wonder. No.
Well, I wonder if what's behind us, is any possible hint.
We're wondering if he could somehow be the Red Skull. And for last time we saw the Red Skull was Hugo Weaving in the first Captain America movie, and he grabbed the Tesseract and either he died or he was zapped away, and he's like floating around the cosmos. In the comics, this is a spoiler, by the way, from the comic books, but in the Death of a Captain America storyline, it was all orchestrated by the Red Skull, who projected his consciousness into another person and became like this evil mastermind in somebody else's body.
Yes.
So could that be what Daniel Bruhl is going to play? That'd be a weird twist, a crazy twist to bring the Red Skull back.
Sure. But it also sort of makes sense to have somebody there. You know, we know that Iron Man is going to be an antagonist of sort, or we assume that Iron Man is going to be an antagonist to Cap in this movie. But I think that it's important to have somebody there that you hate more than him, so that you don't come out of the movie hating Tony Stark. You know, you still need to be behind Tony in some way. He needs to have been manipulated, but so if you're going to manipulate Tony Stark, then the person or the entity that manipulated him needs to be pretty powerful, right? Because we don't want to think that he's kind of easily manipulated either.
Right. He's like a normal person. There's got to be something more nefarious, like another level of supervillainy behind it. But even if it's not the Red Skull, there's some other theories that we've been kicking around. Who knows who it could be? But one that I'm actually hoping it is Baron Zemo.
Right, which would also make sense for this actor. Casting. It would be a good casting choice. Talk about that a little bit.
And Baron Zemo, there was the original Baron Zemo who was back in the same time as in World War II with Captain America. Then his son picks up his legacy in the modern times, and he looks kind of silly because he has this pink mask with it looks like a joke, but I'm sure it'll be cool if they do it in the movie, give him a practical costume. But in the Civil War conflict, he actually plays both sides. Iron Man goes to him and says, hey, can you round up some villains to fight on our side? Because we need a numbers advantage. And he goes, okay. Turns out he had already assembled a group of villains waiting, so because he was collecting power. But then he goes over to Captain America, and he actually, because they have a similar legacy of World War II and the super soldier serum and everything, he gives Captain America this key so he can break out in case Iron Man ever locks him up in Iron Man's super prison. So he's playing both sides, helping both sides. You're not really sure where his loyalty lies.
Potentially reformed, also potentially actually reformed. There's a lot of ways that they could also play with that storyline.
Yeah, he's a villain who becomes a good guy, but not quite an anti-hero, and then he sort of goes back to villainy. So he's a very morally ambiguous character.
Right, and he's malleable, which means that Marvel could play with our expectations a little bit with that too. Maybe we don't even know going in which side he's ultimately going to end up being on. Another thing that they could do is take a character's name from the comic and just make a completely new character.
Right, yeah, they Alexander Pierce was like that in with the Winter Soldier movie. There's also, the first thing that actually came to my head when I heard Civil War villain, is a guy named Nitro, because generally the story is just about the heroes fighting the heroes. There's some villains kind of involved here and there, but they're very like minor roles. So the big villain that sort of incites the incident that causes civil war is this guy named Nitro. He explodes and kills all these like innocent people, which makes the public want to reform how superheroes work. So I doubt that'll be who he is, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, we're just sort of having fun speculating, circling back to something you mentioned briefly in the beginning. Variety, after this news was released, okay, so Marvel said that he's been cast and he's a good actor and it's going to be great. Then Deadline said he's been cast and it's cast as a villain. And then Variety comes out and says, yes, he's in Captain America 3 as a minor villain, but he may be a major villain in Doctor Strange, which this really threw us for a loop. We're like, what did like Red Skull's consciousness bump into Doctor Strange out in like an astral plane? Like, and our producer was like, I'm tired of you Red Skulls on my astral plane. Like, how does this make any sense? So, I mean, do you think that it could make sense at all?
I don't see that happening.
Well, not that not literally that he bumped into Doctor Strange in an astral
plane. I
plane.
think Civil War is going to be a big movie.
Right.
I feel like it's going to be an Avengers level movie because so much, the stakes are so high and so many people are going to be involved. So that it makes me think that there's tons of potential to spin off a villain into another movie.
Yes.
There was a villain, our movies editor Jim picked out that it was Baron Blood, who's the brother of Doctor Strange and who also like fought Captain America. So that would be like a perfect one to have there too. So there's a long list. Like trust me, we looked into this and we like really like dug in to see who it could be. And there's a long list of potential villains.
There's a long list of possibilities. Obviously, I was kidding about them running into each other on the astral plane, though that would be amazing. I think that we're having fun speculating. We're guessing that you guys are probably having some fun speculating as well. There's all kinds of possibilities, like we're saying. But I do think that you want to make this movie, it's already got a lot of characters in it, probably as tight and focused as possible. I personally think that Red Skull returning in that manner is a very strong possibility. Want to know what you guys, and I think you do too?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's one of the more prominent theories, yes.
That was so like, you should be the politician in the movie. That's like when we get called out for being wrong, you could just say, I just said it was the prominent theory. I never said that I bought it for a second. I think it's a pretty good theory, but who knows? Let us know what you guys think. We're going to keep chatting here probably all day long about these things. Let us know what you think in the comments, and for all things Marvel, keep it locked right here to IGN.